All right, we're live. Let's keep the World Cup playthrough train running here. We've got Gloucester Country Club from MVP Manatee. We're playing Pin 2, as per usual with these 281 drivers, Scout Cam off, Follow Cam off. So, MVP Manatee is part of a loaded group F. And I believe this is the last of those that I've played for me to play. So it's got B101, Heisenberg, and Eastwood. So let's give it a go. I didn't write anything in the judging form, but presumably it's something like a kind of New Englandy type course. All right, so we got an elevated T. Went with kind of some. Presumably this is. All right, so I'm gonna make a very small nitpick off the bat here. You've got autumn colors and you've got blooming grasses. So the grasses make me think late spring, summer, and the trees make me think autumn. All right, let's actually look at the golf though. So we've got a nice dog leg left. The bunkering looks very, kind of pretty classy. So it looks like the driving zone kind of gets choked off a little bit. We're downwind, so I think we can probably make this carry here. No, we can't. 324 is a bit of a ways off, though, so I think we'll be okay. All right, so we got a bit of an upslope to play with here. So it seems like that kind of keeps that bunker from really being overly in play, I guess. And presumably if you want to flat lie, presumably you got to play away from that bunker. But that seems to give you kind of a not a great angle into the green. Um, I'm kind of curious what the thinking was behind raising that bunker on the right there. Was it just for visuals off the tee, or is it something to do with playability or enforcing strategy? And we come up short. So we had a false front we had to deal with there. Green kind of slopes back, falls off on the front, the left a little bit, and the back. Yeah, I feel that bunker is that right fairway bunker maybe feels. I don't know. I wonder if you just could have gotten away with having a hill there or something. It just kind of feels like it's fighting the land a little bit. Well, you gotta tell your buddy to fill out the damn form. I believe we're gonna do this one and then we'll do Cindrays after that. All right. So we've got sort of these fronting bunkers there to kind of give you something staring you in the face. On a long par 4. So those types of bunkers used to be present. You see those on a lot of old courses because, like, if you read a lot of the older architects, they wanted to, like, they basically wanted to punish a topped drive because that was actually a miss back in the day. And they didn't want you to be able to just hit it top of drive and just have it run out there, right? And they didn't, this was before there were irrigated fairways, really. So if you were playing and it was dry and you topped it and there weren't any bunkers in front of the fairway, it could just run out there forever. So, all right, number 2. I like the way that green sits. It looks like it's on kind of a little peninsula. We started with a short par 4 and then we had a long par 4. That's a nice opening pair, I think. You've got plenty of feeder slopes here. Yeah, I think this green works well. Nice long views to some of the other holes. Went with the gigantic grass here, but it's well far enough away it doesn't look unnatural. I actually like the way those colors work together off in the distance. Alright, number 3 is sort of a medium length par 3, slightly up the hill here. Got a little kicker slope on the right to feed it off of. And then a big false front. That back left pin looks like it's pretty fun. Uh-oh. Alright, so we kind of got layering of the bunkers there. They do, maybe just from a visual standpoint, they do look like they're a little bit in like a straight line. Like, I know they're not literally that way, but here you can see these ones are kind of, the two on the left there are sort of in a line, and then those three on the right are all in a line. It might look a little better if they kind of, if there's a little bit more unevenness or randomness to them. Alright, severe upslope we got to deal with here. Sort of an L-shaped green. I'm curious what the slopes look like. Hey there, Matt. A little deep. So I feel like we've had maybe three greens in a row that have a similar concept to them, where you've got, not identical, but you got a false front there, and then kind of this feeder slope around the corner. And I do this a lot too. It can be very hard to. It's an easy thing to fall into. Um, but something to keep in mind. Okay, so we're back into the sun here. Looks like we kind of got a dog leg left around these bunkers. Another long par 4. And we're into the wind, so we can't make the carry. So I think we got to play out to the right. And then we'll have kind of a forced carry over the bunkers to the green there. Drinking no things. Man, it's been a while. Right now he doesn't have a golden anything. Okay, again, I might say that bunker on the right, kind of like the one on the first hole, it feels like it's fighting the land a little bit, because you got that big dip behind it. Same with the one on the left there. Um, maybe I don't know. Maybe rethink that a little bit. I mean, I might try a different approach instead of just throwing in bunkers there. Um, it doesn't necessarily feel like you were working with the land. Oh, we didn't make the carry. These bunkers look terrific, though. Um, Very interesting. I mean, because this is especially into the wind like this is a long hole. And you've got that massive downslope at the front of the green. Definitely a ballsy move. I'd say. I'm curious how that pin on the left side of the green plays. At least this one, that's like in a little swale, so you can use the backstop. But I'm really digging the vibe of this course. That hole does kind of have an old school feel to it, though. Like where it'd be like, yeah, you gotta be able to hit a ball high up in the air to play this hole. Let's see if you have the shot. Okay, dog leg left. We got a split fairway here. Again, it's into the wind, so we can just kind of play out to the right, I think. Oh, Tanner Bronson finally followed me 9 minutes ago. All right. So we kind of got a semi-blind second shot over this bunkered ridge here. Pin's right in the middle of the green. What's Jack got up his sleeve? We got a fast. Oh, hey Jack. Glad you can make it. I've just been, savaging this for the past 5 holes. Okay, so we got a false front, kind of like a back shelf here. Just a severe back to front green. Looks like if you don't hit your approach close, you're dealing with a tricky putt no matter what. Still waiting on the first birdie. Yeah, it has been a while since Mike's been around. It's been a while. All right. So now we got our first short par three. Yeah, I mean this looks really pretty. Um, so it looks like kind of off beyond to the left there, the land it kind of slopes away there, so it looks like you kind of built up the left side there to put the bunker there. Um, Nothing wrong with that. I usually don't do that. Like I would probably just make that bunker invisible and just kind of have the green a little more exposed. But that's just personal preference, I think. All right, we got a chance at our first birdie here, but let's check out the green first. Again, very severe back to front, pretty old school. Okay, sort of medium length par four. So I guess that short bunker there is kind of acting as like a visual cue there to give you a line to play here since you can't really see anything else. fist pump after a drive. Alright, looks like we placed it just about perfectly. Alright, then we got a wedge to this kind of tabletop looking green maybe. That wasn't very close. Yep, you get that severe fall off at the back. At least we didn't hit it all the way down there. Those back pins must be fun. Yeah, just kind of a front to back green. Really tests your ability to put some spin on a wedge. I blasted that one. But yeah, I think both of the holes with kind of the forced carries there on the front were both pretty memorable green sites, I think. Felt very old school. Okay, so now we got a 3-shot par 5 with kind of like a mini great hazard area to deal with. And it's into the wind, so I mean, obviously I'm playing this as a 3-shotter here. 6-11 from the Blues. That might not hold the fairway. Oh, it just did. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm gonna. I got an uphill lie. Looks like it's downhill a little bit, but then it's into the wind. Well, probably makes sense to just play it short here and leave myself like a pitching wedge or something in there. Yeah. Let's do that. Or we could miss the fairway. We could always do that. Well, we might have to deal with this tree as well. So it clearly looks like the green doesn't want you coming in from the right. So I'm not sure why this side of the layup zone has to be protected. If anything, I'd feel like, bunker the other side of it maybe. And then if you give me plenty of room out here and then I got to deal with the trees and crap and the bad angle, if I had a little more room out to the right there. Oh, too much stick. Yeah, there definitely are some Mad F vibes. At least I'd say in the number of bunkers and how visible they all are. This is a interesting looking green here. You got the fall off on the left. This little like rough grass bank here. The front's kind of like a punch bowl transitioning into a false front. All kinds of stuff going on here. Alright, see you later. Alright, no birdies on the front. Not looking good for you, Jack. I'm sorry. Okay, we got back-to-back par 5s. This one's playing downwind. Hopefully reachable for us. It is uphill, though, so... More layering going on with the bunkers. And we hit a queefy fade. But we hit the fairway. But we will not... I don't think we're getting home. We might have a shot at the greenside bunker since we're downwind, but this is pretty far uphill. Alright, let's see if Jack punishes me for being thoughtless and just bashing a driver up the hill. Oh, kind of has like almost maybe like the green almost has sort of a Pebble 14 vibes. I mean, with a much bigger green, obviously. Okay, so we got a pitch. Since we got greedy and just tried to blast it up there, we got a pitch to that distant shelf there. So that's going to be challenging. We do have a little bit of a backstop there to help us. Yeah, if the pin's in the front, that bunker's probably a good miss. Otherwise, yeah, and like if the pin's left, bunker's probably a good miss. Otherwise, you'll probably feel a little better with a full shot in there. All right, let's try a flop. Well, at least we got on the right level here. There's our birdie. It only took 10 holes. And a downwind par 5, but we got it done. All right, now we got a long par 3. Kind of playing across that little gully there. And that was a missed club. Alright, so this kind of looks like an Eden type template. Frankly, this green looks awfully similar to the one I just played. You got the front left bunker, false front, and then like the shelf in the back. I shouldn't be hitting splashes around the green when I'm not in a bunker. That's kind of cheap. Oh, wow. Another par 5. Another 3-shotter at that, although it is way downhill. So it's probably not a 3-shotter if you have a 295 driver and you're not playing into the wind, but I have none of those things, so it's going to be a 3-shotter. Man, I'm up to 10 viewers. This is rarefied air for me. All right. Yeah, we're into the wind. I don't think this 3-wood's gonna make the bunker there. It's downhill a bit, but I think we'll be okay. Oh, I jinxed it. I'm down to 7 now. I'm guessing the second I said that, Kenyon probably signed out. Okay, so now we got to deal with going out of the heavy rough here. Green looks, I like how the green looks kind of perilous here. Elevated green, looks like it slopes sort of back, front to back. Got the house on the hill in the background there. Oh, just a little too long. I wondered if you'd think to maybe have some runoff here, because you have fairway runoffs on other holes like that one over there. Feels like that might work here, especially if people are coming in. If it's downhill and like a guy's trying to hit it in 2, instead of just having this color rough. And now I got a pretty straightforward chip that I'll hit 10 feet past. So those are all 3 of the par 5s coming a 3-hole stretch. Oh, this looks scary. .200 yards to that. It looks. I mean, you do have more room. I can tell here. It just looks scary from the tee. Green kind of sits so above the gully there. Oh, that's a dangerous, dangerous line. But we're safe. Very long, skinny green. Much back to front. Alright, now we kind of got like a shortish par 4 that's up the hill. We can try and fit a drive in there. But yeah, I like the topography of the plot here. You got some holes that holes with a decent amount of elevation change, but it doesn't feel cartoonish at any point. Wow, no, that's a tough pin. We did hit a pretty good shot though. Maybe we should watch the replay. Again, kind of a long, skinny green, severe false front. Curious how this settled since it was out of the rough. Yeah, I think we just, because we had that severe upslope there, it just stopped it. Wonder what the Rangers think of this pin. Yeah, I gave that way too much respect. I don't think it's. I think it's okay. I didn't have to. For like the personal test that I apply for my own courses is that I shouldn't have to aim a 3 foot putt outside the hole. I think that's like kind of decent a decent standard. And I think I played that 3 footer left edge and I was fine. So, and it's not like I hit it that hard. But yeah, it definitely is a mean pin. All right, now we got our little postage stamp hold, kind of sort of like tribute to 13 at Marion, maybe. I mean, except that front bunker's not, the lip's not as high, but similar idea. And we'll just pull it into one of those bunkers. Now the wind's bringing it back. Ooh, now this looks like a Matty from Canada green almost. Maybe a little too wide for that, but lots of back to front and left to right slope. That back right pin looks nasty. All right, kind of a not quite blind tee shot. We can see the bunkers there. Kind of on the outside of the dog leg here, but the other side is protected by the gully or the ravine or whatever you want to call it. But I think the ravines have been used to good effect in a good variety of ways so far. I think we'll just kind of play for that middle bunker. the bunkers do give me something to aim at, which is good. And then gives me a blind second shot. Alright, kind of an L-shaped green. So if I've been following along, I would guess this has a big false front there. And then there's like a shelf back here. Because that's what I've seen with most of the other L-shaped greens on the course. So let's see if we got something different this time. We'll go ahead and dump it in the front bunker, see how that works. Oh no, we made the green, I guess. Not only did we make the green, we... Alright, so, let's see what we got here. Yeah, so it's not too much of a false front there. It's really more, and it's a severe red slope off the bunker, so it definitely does not look like some of the other holes with greens that have this type of shape. So, kudos to you, Jack. I feel like that right edge, though, I don't know if there's really a way to gain the angle on that pin. Let's see, you have to kind of like go way over this way. And then I guess you're playing across it a little bit with a wedge. So, I mean, it's doable for sure. You're not like screwed from over there, I guess. Oh, geez, I just gunned it through the brake. Yeah, these greens are tough. A lot of greens where if you don't knock it stiff, you're in three putt territory because the slopes are pretty severe. Not unfair or anything. Okay, now we've got our obligatory drivable par 4. Of course, driver's too much. And usually that means that there's death if you go long. I might try and hit a cut or something here. Because my 3-wood obviously is underpowered, so I think I might just hit a big cut. See if that takes something off of it. Well, that'll take something off of it. Well, obviously I'm going to give this hole a fair shake from here. Alright, we're getting there. Yeah, I guess I wonder what the... Yeah, so if you go long, you can run into the gully there. You might... I guess the play is to make the chipping area, because you can't really run... You can't run a partial driver in there. I think the play is to probably get in one of those bunkers on the right side. Certainly to that pin, I'd say. You got to deal with a downhill bunker shot, but I think that's your best bet. If the pin's way long, I guess you have to try and land it into the slope and just kind of stop it on the front and then have a long putt. Now, when the pin's in the back, I guess the play is to go in that long chipping area because then you can just chip it up the slope. But I had to think about it. It's not like, oh yeah, you obviously just always hit it to this spot and that's like the obvious play. So, it's pretty well designed. Sometimes I think the 286 par 4 is like in this game can be a little gimmicky because it's like just nobody has the right club for it. But, you know, if you put thought into it, I think it can work pretty well. Thanks for the heavy rough there. Alright, we got away with a bogey. Okay, now we got a ball breaker of a long par 4. Got to make one last carry of a ravine at the end. And let's just drive it into the shit one more time. Had so much fun with it on the last hole. All right. All right, so we kind of got like a funnel pin there on the back left. I hope you don't tuck a pin over that red slope. That kind of seems like an asshole thing to do on such a long par 4. And then you got a shelf back there, another false front, and kind of like a front right bowl above the false front. Again, kind of feels like another variation on that theme that you've done, where you kind of have like the L-shaped green. All right. That course was no walk in the park. A nice looking clubhouse area though there. Yeah, I really liked the environment, save for one thing. I felt like the grass did not match the trees. You know, with the autumn, you know, you generally it matches. It's going to go better with kind of reddish brown type grasses, because you know the grass is going to be blooming earlier in the year. I don't know, maybe it's climate change or something. But other than that, I really thought the environment was really good. I think maybe you could have gotten away with maybe fewer bunkers. You probably didn't need all of those. But for the most part, they looked really great. I pointed out a few on the front 9 that I thought maybe didn't totally sit naturally, but yeah, I think a really good course is going to have to go home from Group F, I'm afraid. I don't know which one it's going to be. But yeah, I thought the tee shots had good variety. I mentioned that I appreciated the topography, the way you use the ravines in different ways. Thought the par 3s were pretty good. Yeah, I really enjoyed myself. So, good job. And I thought you incorporated a lot of the Golden Age type elements really well. So very well done. All right, I'm gonna knock out one more of these after this. So I'm just gonna cut the stream here so I can get a separate video, and then I will be back in a second with another playthrough.